What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of epicseven here on Fort Misery Gaming. It's a brand new week, so let's start things off with what we want to talk about for this coming week. So obviously we are 2 days out from another patch update, which will happen obviously on Wednesday morning. But basically what I want to talk about today is my overall thoughts of the equipment that we were able to receive from Season 2 of Arena. If you guys are in my realm of far as progression in the game or higher, you probably have gotten 3 to 4 pieces of the gear. You know, I hope to God your rolls are better than mine, and I'm going to talk about that, prepare for some salt, as well as we're going to talk about preparing for the collab. So, I'm actually going to go to my hero box to show you guys just some different heroes of what you guys should expect. So, obviously, DN was our first limited hero. So, if you guys know, when she came out of the game, was the very first time they introduced the 121 summoning system, where after 121 summons, you're guaranteed to have that hero. I would safe to say that we are going to see that for the 2 new collab heroes. There should be 2 banners for the collab heroes. Now, they could throw at us, potentially, that the banner will be straight up for 4 weeks, and the guarantee step will give you one of the heroes. That could be one option, or the other option is they are going to do 1 hero per 2 weeks. The first hero that comes out for the first 2 weeks, obviously we'll have that guarantee system just like DN and Luna had, and then we could see the second hero the following 2 weeks. So just keep that in mind. They could throw us for a complete loop and have that one banner up for 4 weeks, a whole month, but I don't think that's what's going to happen, because generally they do rotate banners every 2 weeks, except for, these last 3 to 4 weeks that we've seen with the older characters of only having that banner up for 1 week, simply because they're giving us a break before the collab, which obviously is greatly appreciated. They're not power creeping other units right now in the game. But if we look at DN, for instance, my investment with her was +5. Basically for her, I just went to get her cooldowns done. And then we go to Luna. Luna's my only +15 unit I have in the entire game. And obviously she's very, very worth to +15. Usefulness in the game. So that was the other limited hero that we had. So when we look at our heroes, I'm going to use Litica as an example. Generally, we want to at minimum get them to +3. That generally is going to get them their cooldown on whatever their main ability is. So for Litica, that is going to be her public execution, which brings it from a 5-turn cooldown to a 4-turn cooldown. Typically, the amount of Mologoras needed for this could range anywhere from 6 to potentially 8 is generally what it will cost for that on a typical hero. Obviously, every hero is completely different. It could be completely, skewed. Like, Tamarine has just 1 cooldown, for instance, on her S3. If we can find her. I don't know, where did she go? Where did my Tamarine go? Okay. So, for instance, on her S3, it's just 1 turn cooldown, which I believe is either 1 or 2 red Mologoras. So I just kind of wanted to go over the Mologora thing too with you guys. Obviously for the summons, guys, you guys are going to need 1,210 bookmarks if you want to guarantee worst case scenario if you don't pull them before 121 summons between the months. So obviously that is quite a lot of bookmarks and Skystones you'll have to commit to. Me, myself, personally, you guys see I have 25,000 Skystones right now. And obviously I do use them for energy refreshes, and I'm a semi-whale to dolphin in this game. Probably going to be more on the whale side if I end up whaling for those met. You guys see here, I'm actually pretty darn close to getting the first hero on just bookmarks. So obviously I have more than enough Skystones to get both of the heroes when they come out, assuming the system is in place and is normal what we expect for limited heroes for the collab. Obviously anything can change, so don't take this as gospel. This could be potentially completely thrown for a curveball. Smallgate's done that before. We could not have a guaranteed system. We could have a guaranteed system that's worse, better, whatever may be. But that's what you guys want to prepare yourself for, bookmarks and Skystones. So if you guys got a little bit extra cash, I do highly recommend, if you guys are very, very low on Skystones and bookmarks, just for value-wise, for the packs, I would highly recommend getting these BOGO packs. Definitely the second one is just a steal. That's 6 leaves, that much energy is just crazy, crazy good. So I would definitely recommend getting that. As far as the BOGO Pack 1, that is going to be very, very useful to you guys. That's basically going to give you guys around 200 bookmarks if you're using them completely for summons with the 2,000 Skystones. So that's going to get you a third of the way there for that guarantee step alone on just this $50 pack. So if you guys are really, really thinking about if I should spend any money in the game, if you got 50 bucks, if you guys want to do that, this is definitely going to be your best value as far as trying to get those collab heroes. And generally in every game, I'm not just talking about epicseven, because epicseven obviously had insanely good limited time heroes, but even worst case scenario, if they choose not to make them quite as powerful as Diane and Luna when they came out, generally collab heroes are insanely strong in every gacha game. When I played Damachi, Memory Freeze, and Dragalia Lost, those 2 games specifically, their collab heroes were not power creeped for a long time. I know in the Dragalia Lost, the units still are power creeped, and I think just almost recently in Damachi did like the Kino collab, the first collab heroes in Damachi, Memory Freeze. They're kind of now just recently getting power creeped out from optimal team setups. So that just gives you guys some kind of insights overall in the game of like how beneficial it will be to try to get these heroes. So that's as far as summoning goes. So let's go back into the Molagora part. So let's go back to Arlitica. Let's actually go to the skill enhancements first, actually, to totally break down what you guys could expect for Molagora-wise. I passed it, right? All right, there we go. So if we go back to here, you guys will see here, it actually is only going to cost me 3 Molagoras to get that extra damage dealt there. But you see there it costed 1 there, 2 there, and 2 there. So hers was actually very, very cheap. Hers was only 5 Molagoras. That's probably one of the least expensive cooldowns I've seen. Like, for instance, Tywin, I believe his is pretty expensive. His is 1, 2, 2, so that's 5. And then 8, 3. So his was 8. So that's a difference you guys see. Obviously, that he did go to +4 in order to get his... oh, I never even realized I never got his effect chance. Okay, well, I probably should do that at some point. Oh, I have the power loops too. I just have to decide whether I want to get use the red Molagoras. But you see how it kind of differentiates. So I would say, like I said before, and here we got 1, 2, 3, and then says is 5. So it could cost anywhere from 5 to 8 to possibly even 9 Molagoras to ensure you get that cooldown on whatever the most important skills of that character. Now, look at Tywin, for instance, is a good example of where he has 2 skills with cooldowns, just like Diane did. So, for instance, here, his was really, really expensive. I had to use 2 Molagora greens for his first +1 on his skill 2, and then I had to use 2 reds. So that is a total of 10 Molagoras on Tywin's S2. So just keep in mind, it could be as much as 10 Molagoras per cooldown. It could be as low as 5. You know, just so prepare your guys for that. So unless there's a character that's like insanely important for you for these next week to 2 weeks, I would highly recommend saving all the Molagoras you get this week. You know, obviously you guys will get 3 to 4 this week. Next week we'll probably get quite a bit of Molagoras as well, because we're gonna have a side story come out. And then also, I think next week is when we're going to see the big packs come out. I think we are going to get that Christmas pack to come back like we had for Christmas, like we had for like Guild War launch back. I think I want to say that was when I was on vacation. I want to say that was either in January or February, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, those come with 5 Molagoras. If you shovel out the full 150, you're going to get lots of other stuff too, like tons of leaves. You're going to get tons of gold. You're going to get tons of sky stones, bookmarks. You get a 4 to 5 star hero ticket, and then you get 2 moonlight summons as well if you end up getting like all that stuff. If you guys have looked at my past videos, I've gone over those packs, why they're the best packs in the game, because of the overall resources you guys get from those. Obviously, we'll also probably have a pretty good chance, I would say, while that event is up, to also get the Molagora pack to come back, because it's been, I think, like 3 weeks since we had the Molagora pack. Generally, about every 6 to 5 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks at most, we usually get the Molagora pack, so that's going to be another 9 Molagoras, if you guys have the cash for that. If not, you guys know you guys got to be very, very careful with your Molagoras. I bet a lot of people blew all the Molagoras they got refunded when we had the when we had the revamp a couple weeks ago. I am one of the few people that held on to a lot of reserve. You guys saw here, I actually have, what was it, 15? 16 greens left still, so it's quite a bit. So as far as for the event, also, more than likely, I would say we are going to get a green Mulgora every week. And then I also think we're going to be getting anywhere from 1 to 3 red Mulgoras from the side story. When we had the DN and also the Christmas side story, I want to say we either got 2 or 1 or maybe even 3 red Mulgoras. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head because it has been a very, very long time. The Christmas one, I want to say... Oh, no, I want to... Actually, no, the Bologna big side story we had, we actually got 1 red Mulgora. That's true. When the whole event was over, we finally did get 1 red Mulgora. So they may give us a red Mulgora every update with the side story. Like, maybe if it's updated every 2 weeks or every week. I want to say it was like a 4-week running side story. So if they have it go per week, then that means we're going to get at least 1 green Mulgora every week and a potential for maybe 1 red. Maybe they're only going to do a red every other week or only maybe 1 red for the whole event, like total. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, you guys have your Abyss Towers to do still. Then you guys can get some red Mulgoras and even green Mulgoras if you guys are super new to the game from those as well. But definitely key Mulgoras are like probably the most coveted resource in the game, even more than Galaxy bookmarks, of how valuable they are. And just keep in mind, guys, of how valuable DN and Luna were, especially when they just released. Obviously, DN has fallen off quite a bit with like the release of Tamarine, more people lean on Angelica, units like that for a lot of the content nowadays. But Luna is still everywhere. She's in every mode of the game. She's in PvP, she's in GVG, she's in PvE heavily. So definitely you guys can see how valuable limited time units are. So definitely, guys, check that out and definitely keep that in mind. So now let's go over to the salt part of the video, which is going to be definitely we're going to go over the equipment for our arena. So you guys will see here. So this was my best roll so far. I haven't rolled my 3rd piece yet because I don't have the charms quite yet, enough of them. But you guys see here, I rolled 19% effect resistance. I believe crit hit chance did not get a roll. I believe all the other rolls were health. I think it was only like maybe 2 rolls at most. Maybe 1 roll did go to crit hit chance. I can't remember off the top of my head what the starting was. But yeah, so this is my big problem with this whole arena gear set, is having effect resistance on this particular set makes no sense because your bruisers, you don't really care about effect resistance. I mean, it's cool if they're super slow and they get hit with something that, you know, disables their turn. But typically, if you're going to run a bruiser like that, that's going to be on an attack set, you're going to be running a CR pusher. So if you fail to get the first turn on that team comp for like PvP, for instance, you're just going to lose anyway. So it doesn't really matter if you have effect resistance. You know, the thing about what your bruisers are trying to do is to do as much damage as possible, whether you're doing spread damage for your cleave setup or you're doing, you know, one-shot damages with units like Luna, Watcher Shuri, units like that, that are just trying to one-shot other characters. So then I'll show you the other big salt, which was the ring, which is like probably the worst possible thing I could have rolled. You guys see here. Okay, so I did get only 1 roll of credit chance. We can prove that there because I know I got everything in effect resistance on this piece of gear. So credit chance was no rolls on the boots, and the other rolls were health. So I want to say it was like 3 rolls into effect resistance and then 2 rolls into health, something like that. But you guys will see here, like, this is so bad. Like, this would have been a really good actual item for like my key save, for instance. Even maybe potentially like a Luna or even an Aramithia. Like, if this rolled all effectiveness, this would definitely be like a saving piece if whenever I pull ML Aramithia down the road. If I'm lucky enough to get that, because if I got like similar to that, like even if it wasn't 29%, but if it was like, let's say like even like 18% effectiveness or something like that, this would have been an awesome set because it still has good stuff. It's got an attack percent main stat, and it's got crit hit damage and crit damage, which is all good for Aramithia. Useful substats where effect resistance just really isn't, because Aramithia is either going to be built super fast or she's going to be built super damage, always super effectiveness no matter what, obviously. And with a CR pusher. So it's just unfortunate that Smilegate chose to shaft us so hard with this gear sets, and you know, with all the controversy of the equipment packs, Smilegate has just not been having a very good showing in the last 2 weeks of all the decisions they've chose to make when it comes to Arena, when it comes to the equipment packs, when it comes to the point system, even Arena, that originally they said we weren't going to have to use Conquest points to trade in, and now we do. So now most of us have like no Conquest points. So we can't even buy charms to level up our left side and or to level up everything outside of accessories, because we have to use it all for these gears. Obviously, that's going to level out eventually once we get all the gears and we get the unknown slate, and we can stabilize at that point a little bit. But it's just, I'm really been disappointed with Smilegate over the last couple weeks, and this is me being very reserved in today's video. I had a lot of time to think about it today, and I didn't want to go full on like completely just tear them a new one. But I just wanted to bring these issues up to you guys of like, this could happen, this happened to me, very bad. You guys can blow up my comment section with, oh, he's just salty, but I mean, come on guys, this is gear that you know, is very valuable for free-to-play players. Granted, I'm a semi-whale to dolphin level, but still, like, I still gotta farm my butt off for hunts, and I'm still getting garbage drops in the last week or so. So it's just one of those things that this is a very good alternative for a free-to-play player to get some good gear on your DPS or your utility unit or whatever for these stats. And the fact that they included effect resistance, if this was like if this was, for instance, on this piece of gear, like speed, if that was that instead of effect resistance, or even health would have been better, you know, give me a little bit more survivability. But effect resistance is just such a bad decision on this particular set. Now, if this was like counter, it would be somewhat usable, because at least for counter units are typically units like a Charles or a Moonlight Ken or a regular Ken, Fire Ken, something like that, to where they're built super tanky. So they can go with effect resistance, because if they are going to be able to resist all of the debuffs and they're able to stay alive between your other units, then it's a valuable piece of gear for them. Especially the fact that if it's a, you know, tanky DPS unit like an Assassin Cartusia or a Ken or a Charles, for instance, then they can take advantage of being slower with higher HP, higher defense, and a lot of attack, things like that, to make them very good for your comps for GVG and PvP. So anyway, guys, that's going to be today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy it nonetheless. If you guys did enjoy, don't forget to drop me a thumbs up down below. Let me know what you guys think of the arena gear overall. Let me know what you guys think of the collab coming up. How much have you guys saved? And what are your guys' plans going into the collab? Are you guys going to be buying a lot of the packs, or are you guys going to be trying to do this completely free-to-play? And do you have enough Sky Stones and bookmarks as a free-to-play to get all of the necessary units? Let me know, guys. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video today as well. If you guys are new, hit that subscribe button down below as well. And we'll see you guys in the next epicseven video. Peace out, guys.